Hello and welcome back, everyone, to our Magic the Gathering set explorations. And in this episode, instead of actually doing a set exploration, we're going to be doing a relatively interesting and kind of far out mechanic exploration. Specifically, not a keyword, but a rules text word, whenever.
Whenever, yeah.
So, Mr. Cloud, run us through the basic gist of this concept, please.
Sure. As those who have been watching Rocket Rabbit Commentaries Magic the Gathering set explorations are well aware of is we typically pick a set, we explore that set, we make decks and we battle each other with them, and then we talk about the set in isolation. But we're not talking about just one expansion. We're talking about triggered abilities. And a triggered ability is a characteristic of a permanent type card that is found all across the multiverse in Magic the Gathering. It's found in every expansion in the game. A triggered ability is defined as an ability of a permanent that goes on the stack when conditions are met. So both during the activation and resolution steps of a triggered ability, this permanent will check to see if the conditions are still correct, and in which case it resolves, and then you get the effect of that permanent. The reason why I picked the set is because, in my opinion, triggered abilities are some of the most important and some of the most powerful abilities that you could see across any type of card in any situation. My hypothesis is the player who triggers the most abilities during a game of Magic the Gathering has the highest win probability. And the reason is not only does it elongate turns, it also allows you to get point after point after point off of just one permanent card. Because triggered abilities also have that stipulation that unless it says otherwise, that they can trigger as many times during the same turn, they can trigger as many times during the same stack, as long as you continue to meet the conditions for this permanent. So, blind to each other's deck constructions, as we typically are, Gerda and I are going to show our hands and show what is each of us our own idea of what a triggered ability focused deck must look like, because the rule is very simple. Between both of our decks, each deck does contain permanent cards, but every non-land permanent card in our decks has to have at least one triggered ability. And come to realize during our research that a triggered ability, like more than 90% of the time, uses the word whenever or when. If you find a card that says either whenever or when in its text box, it probably is describing a triggered ability, in which case you might want to hang on to it and see if you can find a use for it. So, this all being said, I think it's time that we did this sometime today. Maybe now. Definitely not a second ago, but whenever.
I'm going to be running on mono black, specifically a mono black variant of a deck that kicked my ass in modern like a year ago that has never left my memory.
Oh.
Specifically, this is a watered down version of Waste Not, and I'm really hoping that I can actually trigger Waste Not a bunch, but one of the other stipulations for this was specifically that we had to play with Singleton. So yeah, I'm only running a single copy of Waste Not, so I'm hoping to see it.
Oh crap! Did I break my own deck construction rule? Yeah, I see duplicates in my set. Oh crap! Does Cloud automatically become disqualified for not building a deck that did not follow the Singleton build concept? Or do we just want to play this out and see what happens?
I think we should still play this out, honestly.
All right, because your description of a deck that is in homage and criterion for a deck that had beaten you previously leads me to believe that I have quite a challenge on my hands, no matter how well I had made my deck. I should mention also that on the subject of deck consistency during a game, I am running 3 colors. I'm running the Mardu colors, red, black, and white. And it strikes me that a matchup between a monocolored deck and a tricolored deck usually favors the monocolored deck because of early game action, as well as getting the right lands at the right time. in like a best 2 out of 3 situation. So, having already acknowledged that this is already a faulty exploration at best, I think we're ready to begin here.
All right, then. Let us begin.
But first, roll them dice.
How come you get the natural 20s more often than I do, Mr. Cloud?
Luck. Luck,
I
my
will
friends. Oh, boy. Oh, I don't like this hand. Yeah, I don't like this hand. I got a mulligan.
Okay,
so we are still only using one house mulligan.
Yep.
It could be my undoing. I am going to keep this hand.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So since I got the nat 20, I'm going to declare myself the turn 1 player, and we're going to start things off with a swamp.
A swamp. All right. My turn is going to look a little similar, but a little bit different. I'm also going to start with a swamp, but I'm going to cast the Vicious Conquistador.
Nice.
So, whenever Vicious Conquistador attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and then he deals battle damage.
Already has begun. Whenever, yeah. I am going to play a I'm not having that. No. Not in a 20-point life point game. I'm going to pay 2. I'm going to cast Yuri, Master of the Review.
Ooh, okay.
He has... My permanent has more triggered abilities than your permanent does.
It does.
Whenever I sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Yuri. When Yuri dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Pass.
All right, then. So, I'm going to put down another swamp. Then I'm going to spend 2 in order to cast the Gluttonous Slug.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to enter combat, and I'm going to swing with my Vicious Conquistador. Vicious Conquistador during the attacker step deals 1 damage to you.
Each opponent loses a life, yeah.
And then then we move on to blockers.
Yeah, I'm gonna declare Yuri as a blocker on him. Oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna block that all day long.
All right. So Yuri is deaded, and then
when Yuri dies after dealing 1 damage to the Conquistador, I'm gonna use his triggered ability to deal an additional damage to the Conquistador to kill it.
Okay. And yeah, I will end.
You know, turns are supposed to be simple. You swing, I block. Damage is dealt, things die, and players lose life points. But wait, we have so many abilities to describe first. I'm going to play Nomad Outpost and pass.
Ooh, all right.
Because right now, you have a 0-3.
I do have a 0-3. How about we make him into a 1-4, though? I'm going to put down a swamp, and I'm going to spend 2 in order to cast Sorin of House Markov. Ooh. So, because Sorin of House Markov has both one additional power and 1 additional toughness over the Gluttonous Slug evolves, allowing him to gain 1/1/1 counter.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm going to have Gluttonous Slug attack you for 1.
All right. I'm going to take 1 damage, so I can't block the slug.
Okay. And, ooh, my next couple of turns are looking to be slow. All right, and with that, I will end.
So I just want to say, so your deck isn't truly mono black then.
No, it is. It's mono black.
No, because you're using a card that has an ability that derives from either white or black, which means that the color identity of Sorin is white and black.
You're going to learn that I have no white mana sources, Mr. Cloud.
I know you don't have white mana sources, but I'm talking about the ability of the permanent itself.
Sure, the color identity of my deck is not technically mono black, but I have no way of generating a mana of colors other than black. So,
I am going to cast Combo, Console of Allocation.
Okay.
Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life, and I gain 2 life.
Okay.
So you get back past this accountant.
Ooh. That is tempting. I am going to put down a swamp, and then... I don't actually have enough mana to do... Yeah, I don't have enough mana to do that. Alright, so with that, do I want to pass or do I want to try and gain life? You know what? No, I don't need to pass. I'm going to swing with my Gluttonous Slug, because he has Menace.
Correct. And when a creature with Menace swings, it cannot be blocked unless it's blocked by at least two blockers. People. I'm going to accept the damage. The damage taken is 1.
Okay. And, yeah, with that I will end.
I say, so you're leaving Sauron... I keep calling him Sauron. Sauron. No, he's not the Lord of the Rings. He's just one of the most well-recognized vampire planeswalkers in the game. Okay, I see an opportunity here. I'm going to pay 2. 1, 2. I'm going to cast Cathartic Reunion.
Okay.
When I cast the Cathartic Reunion, I'm going to discard Yomiji, who bars the way, and a swamp, and I'm going to draw 3 cards.
Okay.
For my land play this turn, I'm going to play a Graveyard Cairns, Graven Cairns. Then I'm going to pay 1 black mana to cast Ashnod, Flesh Mechanist.
Okay, then.
He's a 1/1 with Death Touch who has, whenever he attacks, sacrifice another creature. If I do, I create a tap Power Stone token.
Yep.
Or I can pay 5 and exile a creature from my graveyard and create a tapped 3/3 colorless zombie artifact token. And now I'm going to end my turn.
Okay, then. Ooh, I did get lucky enough to get there, but now the question is... how do I go about this?
Because I have a creature with Death Touch now. You better watch out there, slug.
I definitely am going to play the swamp, but I think next what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 5 in order to cast Wolf Spider Queen.
Ooh, it's a planeswalker.
It is. And I'm going to... she comes into the battlefield with 4 loyalty counters.
Nice.
And I'm going to use her +0 in order to draw a card and lose a life.
Nice. Draw them cards.
That is what I wanted. That is
by the way, when you casted Lolth, combo triggered. So I gain 2 life points also.
And I lose 2 life. Okay. That is definitely what I wanted. From here... From here I think I will pass.
All right. So you got 2 blockers. Very nice. Now, play a plains for the land play. And then I'm going to pay 4. I'm going to cast Miri the Cursed.
Okay.
Miri the Cursed is a legendary transfigured vampire cat from Time Spiral with flying, first strike, and haste that has, whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, it gets a +1/+1 counter. However, it strikes me that unless Miri is blocking, she's probably not going to be touching any of your creatures, because neither of your creatures have flying right now. Okay. Let's go into combat. I'm not going to attack with Ashnod, but I am going to attack with Miri, and the target is you directly.
Okay. I will take 3.
All right. And then during the second main phase, I'm just going to end my turn.
Okay.